Hi, Christopher. Think I saw Roxanne, if I'm not sure. Hi to all those who will come on. Hi, Tessa. All those who will come and hang out with me. Thank you all so much. I love you all dearly for taking time off to come to listen to what I have to say. It's worth it hustling to get here. If only know how much I'll be hustling when the day comes to make sure I come and have something for you all to listen to. Hi, Kennex. I want to thank you all so much because you all give me that encouragement and the extra motivation to do what I do. I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. And I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. Hi, Margaret. Hope the internet service behave itself, but all you know the drill. It is what it is, right? And we will make do what we have. When we get lemons, we make lemonade. Hi, Judy. So let me look for this. Oh gosh. Oh yeah. As I tell you, there's so much things I just have saved. I just have to be scrolling through. And if I don't take my time, I just pass it. Right. I saw this and it just warmed my heart because I know what it is when you get your own home for the first time. I remember project. So apparently, so let me start over. Let me start over this thing. Ugh. They start early to zombie me.
I am Kasia Plato, and I am so grateful to Mr. Alwari for everything he has done. Other than a hope, because of Mr. Alwari, I am employed today that I could put groceries in this home. So Mr. Alwari, one person that is showing the comfort is great, and I said great is the CNN. And great is the CNN. Great is the greatest is CNN. Great is the CNN.
Right. So that is a grateful resident getting her home in San Fernando in the constituencies of Faris Alwari, who is the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. So it warmed my heart to see that. I'm also seeing that TT Post got some new bikes. Let me see how that goes. So that city post getting some bikes there, and also saw them turning the southern for, I think it's a renovation or something of the TT post up there in Grande. So that again is good news. Let's hope that they take it and use it to their advantage, and that they are comfortable while using it, and that they upkeep it also. Hi, Michelle. I'm also seeing the government of Trinidad and Tobago, Ministry of Youth Development, National Services again. Youths, are you passionate about national service? It says national service promotes the youth development, civic participation, and national pride. Do you want to be an effective leader? The National Services Leadership Program, NSLP, will equip youth leadership skills and knowledge to become powerful and impactful agents of change. Develop your voice and join a network of passionate young people who make an impact in Trinidad and Tobago. The NSLP, that is the National Service Leadership Program, is offered through the University of the West Indies, UWI St. Augustine campus. Modules include approaches to youth development and national service, strategic leadership and planning, theories in human development and emotional intelligence, civic engagement, advocacy and volunteerism, group management, conflict management and communication, project design and implementation and management. Applicants must be between the ages of 16 and 35, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and in possession of at least 2 CSE subjects, including English. They didn't say including maths, because a lot of people don't have maths with 2 CSE O-levels passes, including English. One of the subjects is English. So people get on board. Go on the website on the Facebook page of Ministry of Youth Development National Services and see if this is something that you would be interested in for the young people. Again, I also saw on a page called Live Zone, first Trini to visit every country in the world. And it says here, meet Dylan Decote. It says a globetrotter from Trinidad and Tobago. Dylan just recently finished visiting every country in the world. Dylan's the first person from Trinidad and Tobago to visit every country in the world. Almost all of his travels are done using airline frequent travelers points. He is now considering continuing to travel to non-UN countries and territories. His final country was Sudan, and he says, the page says, please join him in congratulating Dylan. So I'm just showing a little face of the man quite long there. I hope that is accurate news. Okay? Right? I hope that is accurate news. So let me move on. So in Tobago, the fellow was the whistleblower, the one who would say when Farley and them was caught in the audio gate with them offering to pay people to spread propaganda and all that whole lily, and then they get this Akil boy to come and say he did meet with the Prime Minister, and then he come out and say he did lie, they did rough him up to meet with him, all kind of thing they say, but he say he never meet with the Prime Minister. Well, he having lives, Papa. Last night he had one, and he is talking out, he is playing the tapes, he is bringing the receipt, and he talking about Farley and everybody in Tobago and the Bacchanal. Look, let me tell you, this is the year, I tell you, the year of the Jubilee, where all the truths will come out, and all the lies will be revealed. It comes swift, people will start to talk and purge themselves, and then even realize they're purging their damn self when they was doing the wrong thing. So you have an expert today, tonight, and something. So that's some Bacchanal in Tobago. Hello. It ain't easy. He doesn't know how to take it. And I certainly ain't taking with a dose of salt, because my salt level intake just good. So me, me from Tobago, I don't know the scenes of this. So them have to know, So this was in CNC3 news report, April 16, 2025, and it says here, Tobago police took parties and supporters. There is life after elections. Tell them from an officer. Head of the TTPS Tobago Division, Senior Superintendent Earl Ellie, is reminding political leadership and supporters in Tobago that there is life after elections, as police continue to work behind the scenes to ensure the islands remain peaceful during the campaign season. He told Guardian Media that while the police have not formally brought all leaders together, discussions with individuals are ongoing. We have been in communication with them and are gathering the information we need to help structure our duties and so forth, he said. Asked whether there had been any troubling behavior so far, Eli responded, well, on nomination day, there was one incident, but since then we have had no such recurrence. We don't anticipate any. However, we are not putting anything past anybody. He added that officers are prepared for any eventualities and are engaging directly with key influencers within the various political parties. Quite certain we are one people, one nation, one people, sweet Tobago, Eli said, appealing for a calm and respectful election season. Clarifying recent reports about a supposed meeting with political representatives, Eli said, it wasn't a meeting per se. It was just a fine out their itinerary when they would have all motorcades and those sorts of things. It's just to provide proper security and support. So, and for Trinidad and Tobago, yes, there is life after elections. Some people behaving as if there is not. So I'm seeing the Tobago hotels, they want, let me see what they want. So hotels, Tobago Tourism Association wants answers on the way forward. And let me see what they're talking about here. I intend to read the whole thing because I don't know why they ain't talking to Tashia. Hi, Angela. Hi, Miss Lacroix. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Felix. I know why they're not talking to Tashia Boris. That is, she's not the little girl in charge of tourism. So Tobago Tourism Association wants answers on the way forward. This was April the 16th, 2025. The Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association has written to Prime Minister Stuart Young, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine, and other government officials, raising the alarm over 4 urgent issues affecting the island's tourism and hospitality. In a statement to the media yesterday, the association highlighted the need for refinancing and restructuring of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, including increased airlift funding, enhanced promotional support, and appropriate industry representation on the Tobago Festival Commission. The acronym for them is THTA. Also called for the repeal of the Foreign Investment Act and the Tobago Land Acquisition Order of 2007, along with a review of foreign direct investment conditions within the sector. Additionally, the association is demanding access to 3% of the 10% room tax paid by hotels to be allocated destination marketing as previously approved. It is also advocating for the development of an airlift growth plan aligned with the opening of the island's new airport terminal. With the general election approaching, the association noted, very little has been said about the sector during the campaign. Citizens are eager to hear how each party plans to support tourism moving forward. We stand ready to engage with all stakeholders and invite their collaboration on these pressing matters. I don't want to be disrespectful there. But where was this gentleman? Since Fali and them took over the teaching. I don't get it. I'm not okra on the issues of the tourism sector, especially in Tobago. So I don't understand what he wants at this time. I really don't. But I hope that the powers that be, they would understand what he's talking about and they would make whatever representation on that behalf. Because to me, he want them to do this and do that and do this. Me hear what he said the hoteliers and them doing. Me hear he say that he talked to the tourism secretary at Tobago. Me and here he say he talked to Fali, who's promoting himself like the Prime Minister of Tobago. So if a simple thing like that, all they can get dealt out with the teacher who wants to be government by itself and all them back and all, or they still want central government. I don't know. It's all confusing, but I hope they work it out. But again, where is the tourism secretary? Hi, Lynette. Hi, Melka. Hi, Hadara. Hi, Constance. Where's the tourism secretary? And I was flying all over the world to get investment and tourism. All them years, them in the THL, and them fly here, then everywhere. Fally always up in the colonial master homeland, in he colonial master suit. What investment they bring back to Tobago that now the hoteliers want all this help? I ain't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But let me move on, Papa. Let me move on. So Philip Alexander, who like to give everybody talk because he might stink and dirty, like he can't take talk. But that does always happen. Look, some people who does get talk, can't take talk. And if he does get talk and can't take talk, it means to say that when again people talk, it does be lying on people. And when they get you back, you understand? So stop get talk if you can't take talk. So he wants Gary Griffith again. Oh Lord, I don't know what happened between two of them, you know, to apologize. He always wants somebody to apologize for saying something, but he could say anything. When he called Madam Camille Robinson Regis, who's the member of parliament for Maloney, and the age, you know, called she a bitch, and but she hold she belly and bad. He didn't find she deserve an apology. When he did tell people to kiss, he read ARSE. He didn't find people want an apology. When he said all kind of thing about Prime Minister Stuart Young, he don't find Prime Minister need an apology. When he talk all kind of thing about Michaela and this one and that one, where he had to be paying for his mouth all the time, he don't find it as want apology. Right? So this was yesterday in the Newsday. Attorney representing Philip Edward Alexander, political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, PP, and candidate for Pottersville North, Centre and West, have requested that National Transformation Alliance NTA leader Gary Griffith issue an apology and retraction concerning statements allegedly made on social media. Petronella Basdio, Genevieve Thompson, and Aaron Patrick issued a pre-action protocol letter to Griffith on April 14. The letter calls for a full and public retraction and apology, the removal of the statement in question, and undertaking to refrain from making similar remarks in the future, and compensation for legal costs. The attorneys indicated that legal action, including an application for an injunction, may follow if the matter is not resolved. Gary was given until April 30th to respond. According to the letter, Alexander became aware of a series of voice recordings circulating via WhatsApp groups and social media platforms between April 4th and April 30th. The recordings were said to have originated from a number associated with Griffith, who is also a candidate for Aranguez St. Joseph. Patrick said the recordings included allegations that their client disputes and considers harmful to his reputation. The letter said Alexander viewed the statement as damaging to his personal and professional standing. It also claims the recordings were widely shared in a manner that could negatively influence public perception ahead of the upcoming general election. And I really don't know. I just want to say the kind of thing you just say about people could be negatively impacting the personal reputation and thing too. We have blasted time, yes. I'm seeing here that Roy Rabin, Dr. Roy Rabin, who recently left the UNC for various reasons. Well, you know, the UNC have a way of eating the young. And when you're a person of Indian descent, and you end up leaving the UNC, hi Kathleen, hi Joycelyn, hi Emmeline, hi Shirley, and you end up leaving the UNC, and especially if you go around the PNM, you know that does cost you things. So I was always say the UNC could treat their own. When I say own, in terms of from the same ethnic group, with such evil and insults and callousness and hate, what they would do for me, who are not of the ethnic group. That's why I say it, you know. Because if you love yourself, you go love others. And if you love others, you ain't go talk to people that kind of way. I just tell people, because I love myself, I can love anybody of any different race. It don't matter to me because I see face, I don't see race. Them thing that's coming, if you want to step them in a kind of way, well, then everybody just have to watch what's happening and see wherever. But generally speaking, me a business, whether you're Indian, you're Chinese, Syrian, whatever, you treat me with respect, you get respect. Simple talk. You treat me with love, you get back love. And that's normal thing. Anyhow, so they call Larry Lala SC, they call it Tar Baby, they call you all kind of thing. They call in Dr. Ragbi vagrant now. Well, the cost Senator Runukas think and dirty, they tell she all kind of thing that she's a in love. And she, oh God, I love she too bad. She no business. You know why? She know what it is to love yourself so you can love others. At the end of the day, all of us living here. This is a cosmopolitan country. All races have to live together. Whether you're Indian, Chinese, whatever, all of you mixing up like Calado. And who don't like it, them go pull some with a sorry, sad, gloom and doom self. So anyhow, as I was saying, this was in the Guardian yesterday. It says, outgoing United National Congress UNC Komoto Manzalina MP Dr. Rai Ragbir has backhanded UNC general election candidate Sean Sobers. Again, they always put the Negroes on them. KNEEGROWS to do the dirty work for them. You hardly find the UNC putting a person of East Indian descent to get on, so you know, they always putting them Negroes on them because they know they could buy the head easy, it's soft. That's why they could have said you could get away for a chubby and water from a hose and some doubles. Because some of them only had to tell them, hey, take this to eat it at one at a time. He did call them because he couldn't get no roti when he went up the step and all kind of, what wrong with you people, boy? So, Dr. Rai Ragbir has backhanded UNC general elections candidate Sean Sobers' description of him as a political vagrant and thanked Sobers for reminding him of why he left the opposition party. If defending my former constituents and speaking truth to leadership makes me a political outcast, so be it. I'd rather be called a political vagrant by Sean Sobers than be another yes man clapping on cue when the UNC continues to descend into chaos, Ragbir said yesterday via media release. Take a bow, Dr. Ragbir. You hit them nice. Ragbir, who was labeled a dissident after challenging the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar, was responding to Sobers' insulting description of him last Saturday at UNC's meeting in Rio Claro. Ragbir, who has since resigned from the UNC, added, I want to thank Mr. Sean Sobers for reminding me yet why I stepped away from the United National Congress, the name calling, the backbiting, the desperate need to impress a fallen cult leader instead of serving the people. It's all still alive and well. And that's the point I'm making. Sean Sobers getting on like Stephen. Or you remember Stephen from Django with Jamie Foxx. Yes, massa. Yes, massa. He did more care about massa than the blast itself. You know the ones that them that want massa sick, we sick. That is what it is. Some of them Negroes just carry on like, yes, come. I go show them how I could insult them. Yeah, mother, yes, yeah, mother, I go show them. Yeah, mother Kamla, yeah, Auntie Kamla, I go show them how as African, I could cuss other African. Oh God, I do good. And she throws some stuff. Eat it. Oh, thank you. But you want to do anything else? Anyway. And apparently, if you stand on principle, dare to think independently, you are no longer a comrade, you are a vagrant. Noting that he did not enter politics to chant slogans or curry favor, he said, I entered to serve. I've treated thousands of patients across this country, stood with constituents during floods, health crisis, and loss. That's not passing through, that's showing up, that's commitment. To those still fighting for internal reform and transparency, keep going. Trinidad and Tobago deserves leaders, not blind loyalists. We can't fix the country if you are too busy trying to silence each other. He urged the young people watching on at the general election campaign to always choose service over sycophancy. Stand for something, don't just stand in line behind someone, Ragbir said. You could have said it better, Dr. Ragbir. So listen to this. Listen to this. You think they're right here? Yes, Auntie Camps. Yes, Auntie Camps. Yes. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? All right, I'm going to cuss. Oh, I cuss them good. I cuss them good. How I song? How I song? And you get a pat on your head. Yes, 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 yes. You do good. Many good. You do good. What do you think is? Just not give me a minute. I just scroll. I have to take my time and scroll. I'll give me a minute. But what do you think? Which is a mark on it? Agenda. Right. Now, when I spoke and said that Michaela's family party, they're now young, they ain't kusume yet. Give them years to think. Not right now, we don't need no OJT. Stick it, go the distance, because we didn't hear for 10 years. We didn't hear anything. We're not seeing you having spot meetings, nothing at all. Okay, it could be the newness of everything, but stay in the game, right? Get ready. This is one of the reasons I would have said that. Listen to one of her candidates, and he is so historically inaccurate, and he listened to his behavior in a conversation on the cost of living and the economy that MP Brian Manning, who is a minister in the Ministry of Finance, listen to this gentleman behavior.
Patriotic front, we do not know what we are going to meet in the coffers of the Treasury. We do not.
But you must have a plan.
However,
but you must
our
have
manifesto will be out. We will be outlining our plan in that manifesto.
So this is why so many opposition parties have been ducking these kinds of events where they have to actually enunciate what they plan to do.
No, those advisors that we have. No, I'm not talking about
this is a very serious. The
advisors that we have are very experienced persons. However, if it is we were to go back and to vote the PNM, the same PNM that has brought us to this economic position over the past 10 years, the same PNM that has run us to the ground in the 80s and led us to the IMF, which led to the coup. A lot of people don't understand that. And the most crippling, the most low.
No, I love how young people are getting themselves into the politics. They're showing up, they're standing up. But for God's sake, know what you're talking about. First of all, it wasn't the PNM that took us to the IMF that out of that came the coup. It was the NAR. The PNM and have us where we at because of the PNM. In 2015, after Kamala Persad and the PP government enjoyed the highest oil prices ever, by 2015, we were in a recession. And coming out of that, we hit up with COVID-19 that struggled. So this gentleman from the Patriotic Front, he should have been better prepared than this arrogant. I would say it's arrogant now because he's talking inaccurate things, so he had to be arrogant. You come there with no proper information. So imagine that, a thing like that, you go on to interview, you misinforming the young people who listening because they're excited as a young person and giving them misinformation. Michaela Panda, my darling, sit down with your team and have some political classes with them. Have some historical political classes with them to understand simple things, because you can't tell me that you don't know the government that was in office when there was a coup, it was the NAR, not the PNM. And if you could mess up that, well, imagine what again already be talking and saying. So that's why I said the Patriotic Front, they're not ready. Could never be ready. With somebody who want to challenge Brian Manning, member of parliament, who have been doing it for the last 5 years, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken, working in the Ministry of Finance, who is actually in finance as a profession, I understand, it could be wrong, and talking that foolishness. Okay, so let me move on. I was just making my point. Let me continue. So, the talk is now that John Jeremy, who was the AG under the People's National Movement and Mr. Manning as Prime Minister, nobody has seen him, well, publicly for years. And he showed up on the UNC platform. And let me tell you this something. I'm not trying to be mean because me, myself, is a senior. He looked like he escaped the nursing home. He looked horrible. That's my opinion. But then again, when you're going to do things that ain't right, it'll show on you. Because I'm trying to understand what is the purpose after all these years. Not being in the PNM, I understand he is a member of HOPE, the party HOP HOPE. Where's the purpose? And on top of that, you have analysts who want to fuel that by saying he going on a UNC platform could have an impact. And oh God, hey, these people good, yes? What impact could John Jeremy have on voters for this election? In helping them, well, you know what, you might really make a choice in truth and say, you see, that choppiness, I'm really not voting for UNC. Probably that's the impact they're talking about. Because I can't see he having an impact on no PNM person to make a decision to not vote for the PNM. Because he was one who the same UNC and Kamla and them wanted him to go before the privilege committee when he was at AG and want to include them in all corruption thing and whatever it is. Them needs to be at the throat right through. So I don't understand how we're looking for refuge now. But then again, another KNEEGROW, that's my opinion. Because what value do you bring to the UNC? You could walk anywhere. You could do a power walk. You could do a half walk, a quarter walk. What you could do that you so valuable now to the UNC? Other than just to create, it's a diversion tactics to have us talking about it. Because them young people didn't even know the hell John Jeremy is. But because they want to talk about it, we don't afraid to talk because we just stop beating here. So analysts are saying he brings some impact. I'm just going to read a paragraph because them themselves, and this Shane Mohammed, he cannot refer to himself as a doctor because it is alleged he doctorate aerial. That is the allegation. So Shane Mohammed. Until he could bring the right thing, or whatever the case may be, whatever, I say in Shane Mohammed. So this is in The Guardian, 18 hours ago. Well, it's 18 now. Political analyst Shane Mohammed has described former People's National Movement PNM Attorney General John Jeremy's recent public endorsement of the United National Congress as a political bombshell. Oh my God! The man looking sick. That's a bombshell. I would expect somebody bounce on stage and drop something. You come on there to talk about the PNM races. Really? Really, John Jeremy? Or is it your totem? John Jeremy, is it your totem feelings by? Anyway, let me continue. Why this is big? Because John Jeremy served in the PNM government. He was part of the fabric and foundation of what constituted a Malin cabinet. And so what? Speaking with Guardian Media yesterday, Mohammed said the move, which comes days ahead of the general election, has a magnitude to create shifts amongst the electorate. Oh God, all dragging the bottom of the barrel. Shane Mohammed all dragging the bottom. I mean, no disrespect. All dragging the bottom of the barrel. That man, as he stand up there, could cause any shift. Really? What John Jeremy have on the PNM that could cause shift? That what? That what? Sometimes when you see man get Oh, all right, let me continue. Whew. During a UNC meeting in Pinal on Monday, Jeremy made a shocking appearance. Yes, it's really, really shocking because he looked shockingly sick and frail, just like Kamala, and went a step further by declaring his support for the UNC. Tonight, as an educated black man with academic and national accomplishment, the same academic accomplishment, the same Kamala Persad Bissessa, and them was fighting you down and wanted to go before the privilege committee. You jackass. Yes, I said it. I stand here to endorse the UNC. I stand to reject the state of hate. Well, you're going in the right place. All they had the hate, not we say so. Dr. Rai Rabin walk away. Larry Lara SC walk away. Anita Haynes walk away. Parry walk away. Rambali walk away. The whole Labricon executive walk away. Diego Martin executive walk away. Senator Obika walk away. And just recently I heard the woman called Cathy Jofield. She tell we what they used to call we in the UNC. So John Jeremy, you stand over there talking, you know what they say? Look at him, look at him. The big old, look at it, look at it. Well, I was embarrassed for myself, so boy. I read much of this, you know, because this is song in. So Mohammed further contended that Jeremy's endorsement, which comes on the heels of the resignation of several UNC members, including Larry Lala SC, who has since gone on to pledge his allegiance to the PNM, can consolidate UNC appeal. You can never class Larry Lala SC, who has been active in the whole politics in the UNC, and they're fighting all this time. Walking away because he said, I'm not able, I can't take no more. They say walking. I try. I remember to John Jeremy, who wasn't out there doing nothing at all. You only can be serious to compare the two. That ain't making sense. Shane Mohammed, that is why probably it is alleged operating real, because you're not making sense. This is not an ordinary, this is an extraordinary. If they told Larry Lala crossing over the PM was big, then this is big. I really don't know black anymore. Shane Mohammed, that is why I had to go to Shane Mohammed. You sound like a jackass too. That is my opinion. You could never class an active Larry Lala, as I just say, SC, in politics. We know who Larry Lala is. We see him in UNC politics. We see him there fighting over to a John Jeremy, retired AG. All and wash up. We ain't hear nothing from here in years to jump out now. How the hell? That could be big news. Really? Was he active anywhere? Was he out there fighting against the PNM, or was he in the PNM actively doing anything for 10 years? No. Come now, man. All if everybody's chopping or what? Plenty of we get with certificates and all that, and it wasn't false, you know. Me ain't saying it was false. I'm just saying something. Plenty of we get with certificates, it wasn't false, you know. I really don't know. That's a making what I'm saying. And of course, it must have the Negro there to give it a little splice. Dr. Winford James. Anywho, let me continue. So, Mr. Faris Alwari would have responded because everybody wants to know, oh gosh, John Jeremy is here. What's all they think? What is one thing? What are one thing? Because they want it in the news so people to talk about it, right? So, Mr. Faris Alwari, they bounced him up and he responded.
Well, last night in Pinal, former PNM Attorney General came on the platform to endorse the UNC leader, endorse the party, basically tell people to end the race talk in the election, subtly inferring that it's the PNM driving the race talk. Your thoughts on the appearance of said individual and what he said, and he does have a bit of a history in terms of other events which might color his actual intentions of being there.
Sure, okay. I didn't see, but I heard of the presence of John Jeremy, former Attorney General, at the UNC platform. As the former Attorney General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago myself for 7 years, and as the person who is still managing the Piarco Airport inquiry matter, I was shocked to see John Jeremy on a UNC platform. Because the record in court, the record on Hansard, and the record in public is that Mr. Jeremy prosecuted the criminality and allegations against the UNC. I say criminality because people went to jail in the United States of America, and I say allegations with respect to matters that are before the courts at present. He is the subject of a Privy Council condemnation in relation to the Chief Magistrate matter. But he is the man who prosecuted that there were allegations of significant corruption, which is before the courts right now, so I'll be very careful on how I speak about that, against people that he stood up on a platform last night representing him in the UNC. So there was John Jeremy on a UNC platform promoting the UNC, and some people in the UNC were in fact in the UNC government against whom allegations stood. Kamla Prasad was an attorney general during that time for a short period. So to say that Mr. John Jeremy has demonstrated an incredible contradiction is an understatement. I think that what you saw was, if you could visualize it, you saw Mr. Jeremy as a blue market crab tied up snugly over a pot of boiling water, about to make his way towards.
All right. We heard plenty there, right? So we don't want to just listen in. And that's the thing I'm saying. Let me see if I find a picture of John Jeremy to show you how this man looking. Just not that. Give me a minute there. That is who? Shane Mohammed and Anna is talking, but that is a devastating thing and bombshell. You see how he looking? Grandpa, go home with your grandchildren, if your grandchildren, and calm yourself now. All of them jumping back in the same party and with the same people, they was saying corrupt and involved in all kind of things. Now to come to tell we, them is going to vote for, well, let's 6 years, and Shane Mohammed, and I'm talking about, he's a bombshell, and he can really influence people to say, I need to vote for the PNM. So my continues. So I listened to this, I'm playing it for a reason. It's from a gentleman called Gavin Walters from Tobago. I saw it on his page. And I said, okay. Listen to Kamla Prasad Bisesa. That's not.
PNM supporters, you have stood by a PNM party which has taken your loyalty for granted for years. They have fed you empty promises. The financiers and the brother and the daddy, big money going to them. But what about you? What about your children? I say to you, you don't have to be PNM till you're dead. They don't want me to talk about blood because it's the blood of your children running on the streets, running in our neighborhoods. That red blood is mostly, Professor will confirm it. It is the blood of young African men being murdered in PNM constituencies under a PNM government. That is the red blood flowing in our streets. And that is why they don't want us to call them out, but we will call them out. There's nothing racist about this. This is about PNM destruction and the failure to help those most in need wherever they are. Too many of our children have already died under the PNM. Too many are suffering under their reckless rule. Now is the time, I say to PNM supporters, wake up, rise up, and leave the PNM which has betrayed you all these years. You know, they didn't even give you a choice to select your own leader in the PNM. And if you don't care for yourselves, look, put your children first, put their lives. Stand with the United Coalition of Interests. Stand with the UNC, defend your children from gangs, from being slaughtered. Rowley has abandoned you. Stuart Young, the 157 times recuser, is now being forced upon you. PNM supporters, did you choose Stuart Young to be your Prime Minister? No. Trinidad and Tobago, did you choose Stuart Young to be your Prime Minister? The answer is no. So I invite you into the home of the UNC, the United Coalition of Interests. You know your lives and children were safer under my UNC government. I'm inviting you to come home, to come to a home which loves you and will take care of you. A home where democracy is alive. A home where the people come first. A home where you will not be forgotten. Come to the United Coalition of Interests. Come to the UNC. to come where you and your family will have a future of prosperity, a future of security, and a future of peace. Our doors are wide open. Brighter days are coming under the rising sun.
Okay.
Coming to
That is enough BS for a minute. The blood she's talking about, she's not even saying that blood will flow in the streets like a river or water or something. So if they fail, they did not lose the elections of 2015, so then they fail. So I saw a gentleman with a video playing, I don't know how true it is, and he gave his perspective on who fueling the crime and what money paying for what. Me go and play, we come in, if it's true, whatever the case, and be it all over. Social media to see that is one too. She said about Stuart Young recruits the 700 and something dying. You know, she making that seem as though that is something illegal. Recusing yourself means to say that whatever conflict of interest exists, that you remove yourself from it. So it's an honorable thing to do. Nothing is wrong with the recusals. The recusals simply mean I'm not going to sit here to have a discussion on something that may involve me or somebody I know, whatever the case may be. So I'm moving. So whatever decision will I make, I was not a part of the decision making. That is an honorable thing to do. Nice too. 3, she keeps saying that the people didn't choose Stuart Young as the Prime Minister. And again, she's deceiving people because that process is in the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. The people at Trinidad and Tobago, in the circumstances where a Prime Minister has retired, the process is based on that. The person who commands the support in the ruling party who is in government at the time, that is the one name put forward to the president. And that is what happened. So people didn't have to vote for Stuart Young in that scenario. There's a general election and the people have the opportunity to go and vote in that situation now. Dr. Rowley is a political leader. First time we have had it, but change always brings different things. There's nothing in the PSA regulation, the PNM Constitution or the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago that says a political leader has to be the Prime Minister of the party. It says nothing like that. In the absence of that, the law was followed. So to ask people, did you vote for Stuart Young? Dr. Rowley retired or stepped down. The people at Trinidad and Tobago had nothing to do with what happened next. That is a PNM party decision because it's the members of parliament that commands the most in the House. They are the ones responsible, not the people at Trinidad and Tobago. Them is the one responsible for choosing a Prime Minister because when they go to vote, you don't vote for a Prime Minister, you vote for members of parliament. And the members of parliament is the one who chooses the Prime Minister. Simple as that. But again, because she liked to lie. Then she spoke about the youths and the family safe. But she's the one when she came into governance in 2010. She met the country locked down with the security system. She met the BLIM, she met the SIS, she met everything in place. OPVs was coming, everything, and she just banged in everything. So what security she was thinking of are we children? She dismantled all the security systems in this country and leave it wide open and say the crime is on land, the fight for crime is on land, not sea. She did that. So what was coming in by the sea, we don't know. You remember that time we had a whole nationwide blackout? We never get an explanation for that to this day. That was under Kamala predecessor. So when she speaks about wanting to keep us secure, she never did. She speaks about the children. It's under her tenure that the Children Life Fund that was putting money in it, all kind of corruption in it. They send with children to Colombia, a substandard hospital to do heart surgery instead of the hospital they are accustomed going all in American thing, and the children and them dead. That's how you love the children. So what is Kamala talking about? But loving the youth. Kamala don't love we. Kamala don't love Africa. I don't even think Kamala like Indian people. In fact, I don't even think Kamala like herself. So I'm just going to go into it a little. So she love we. Come to she. Because the UNC could do A, B, C, and F, I, and G. They had the highest oil prices ever. By 2015, we was in a recession. During that time, the Minister of Sports came up with a beautiful idea, that is Anna Roberts, live sports. It could have done so much for young people in this country. You know what it did instead? It created gimme. And you don't have to do nothing to get money. No child ain't learn nothing. None of the black youths who was flocking to that program, they ain't learn a skill, they ain't learn nothing. Just get money, thing to eat, and it's nice. They created what we have now. Where the African you don't want to go and do a trade and get a stipend until they learn. Because they find that money too small. Because under the live sports, they didn't have to do nothing. And they was getting the money. Who creates the gimme? And the welfare syndrome is the UNC. A program that could have done so much good. Get Jackie. It was a beautiful program. And what happened in it? Who walked away with $34 million? They come and they now and they said it wasn't giving it back. And nothing, they didn't do nothing yet. What come out of that? Who run for their life and who get this and all kind of thing? What come out of that, Kamala? You love the young people? Really? You so love them that you fire the man who was in charge of that and the robbers and you bring you back now as a senator. What you love? You love to fool people. You ain't do nothing worthwhile with all the money from the oil, the gas price, the oil prices back then. And you're talking about the UNC does get to the friends and finances, Miss Lady. Roger say you get contract to your friends and family. He says so. Abdullah say corrupt. This is Makanda, so let's spend money like if we'll never right to spend it. Jack said UNC is the most corrupt party than any other party in the history of this country, Miss Lady. They accuse you of nepotism. They accuse you of kleptocracy, meaning everybody thief. You never hear nobody say nobody paying them. All the rest talk about is O'Halloran and provide, but they don't tell you. O'Halloran didn't take taxpayers' money. That was contract. 10% man for the contract. And that when the NR come in, the NR get back the money from Panama, we they take the Panama. They don't talk about that part. But everything, all the rest of Color all Color in my opinion, was guilty of his nepotism. But everything Color say he was going to build, he built it. Napa, Sapa, and I could go on and on. What we know is what people say, that all the thief money and give to friends and family. And when you did not win as prime minister, you went and stay by your friend and them house somewhere in Pune, and they get a contract for $40 million or something. So you ever hear PNM doing them thing? So they cannot fool all the way she forked tongue. But I just want to bring back this story.
Light, free yourself from the blood and light of Rowley.
Right? She have a hard on. I ain't gonna tell all this for who and what. Don't get mama to my find it. This is how she loved African people.
Former Prime Minister and Attorney at Law Basil Pandey showed up to lend support to the men.
Why were they charged? They were charged to me as an excuse to hold them.
The men held for the past 3 weeks at the so-called Guantanamo Bay section of the Aruca jail were simply thankful that they were no longer subjected to the treatment meted out at the facility.
This family was this graphic and different. Worse conditions. You can't sleep in one bath a day. The way you sleep when you have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go and bed. They give you some minutes, then they want to beat you.
Now that they are out, Gocking and several of the other former detainees say they plan to keep well away from the authorities for fear that they may be given other cases. Gocking says the men have suffered enough and have made a special appeal for society not to stereotype them.
As no gang member, I related to no gang. I never been had no shooting case. I never been charged for no robbery, nothing. And all the people looking to discriminate me, I just say I give it up to God.
Lawyers for the 21 men, however, are planning to have the courts deal with the matter. A According to them, several of their clients lost sources of income and property because of charges levied against them. They are currently exploring their clients' legal options. Natalie Briggs, TV6 News.
Guys, Kamala do that. She loved them. It's black youth from around the Nelsons. Yeah? John Sandy, I think John Sandy says 9,000 or 8,000 African youths they lock up. It is alleged the police get word. Lock them up, you go find things to charge them with after it's African youths, Kamala, but you love them. From around East-West corridor. Look how they had them again.
Something is not right. Something is not right. Something is not right. Something is right. Something is right. Something is not right. Come on, come on.
All right? All the social influencers, that's how Kamala love African people, boy. That's how they love African people. That's how she talk about she love African people. She love to have them in a kindness, a gimme. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's how they like to see we uneducated, sweating, black, looking like we stupid, looking like we run. Because she said the only dance here trend, and they says only African people in PNN. The only dance here trend is PNN children. All the social influencers. That's how she love all the, to have all the cussing African people now. All it was never in politics. Nobody in saying all they can support, all they want to support. That is not the issue. Nobody in saying all they can take money. That is not the issue. The issue is all they never was in politics. All they never care about politics. All they never used to talk about politics. All they used to do all the platform creating comedy skit, what happening, Lily here, back and wherever it is, and all they get all the support from. But just all the jumbo yellow is the code talking about the PNM. When the UNC treat African people like dog. Look how they was putting them in figure. 9,000 or 8,000 African youths was locked up from around the lessons with no charge. You hear Ian Allen saying something not right, something not right. They only like to see African people our. All they feel all they special, more special than we. All the influencers, all they feel all more special and Kamala and them high than we. That's what they feel. The same way they just think about we and talk about we. I ain't saying all Indians, so I talking about Kamala and them crew. Get it straight. It's the same way they think about all here. I see Kareem Marcel, attorney Kareem Marcel, on the platform in La Hocketa. I listened to his speech. Me and here he called no influencer name. He just said the influencers who get the money, check it and make sure it's real. And all they invest it and thing. One of them jump out. You know when you're guilty, it's like if you're a thief, right? And you say, don't exit this bag and thing, and when you're gone, you ain't interfere the bag. When you're gone, the person will come back and take the bag, so the money missing. From the time you hear the money missing about, it's not me. You know that kind of way? Because me and here, Kareem Marcel called no influencer name. He jump out. Because he's the lead for the, and I don't know, like he's the representative at the influencer society or something. He jump out and start to talk and nobody else vexed at all because all they supporting UNC. That is not the issue. So don't try to project and show it as if we is the problem and we vex at all. And nobody vex at all here. It's the way in which all they're doing all the things you call it never to talk about politics. If all of a sudden all they jump out, yellow is the code. But I want to tell all the young people what the code really is. The code really is the IMF. Go and look it up. The International Monetary Fund. That's what the yellow code is. Because right there, come and them go take we. God forbid them get into office. So as I was saying, that's how she loves African people. That's how they does love me. Right? They can advantage you. Do what they want. And then turn around and play their savior. Like they want to be the modern day colonial master. Because that's what the colonial master used to do. Beat you, torture you, throw salt in your womb, put you in a little cage, pound out your teeth, kill a woman, rape the man, in front of the woman, kill the baby, all them things they used to do, and turn around now and make you feel like, yes, master, I have to do because them is the one you have to depend on to live, because if you ain't get nothing to eat, what happens if you have a little old shack to stay in, wherever the case may be? So there's the torturer one way, and there's the one coming back with the humankind hand. That's what Kamala and them does do. That is my opinion. Right? This is what Jack wanna see.
Says Minister of Fish Ministers precisely says on the way. Even while I was there, I went to her and told her about the Attorney General. I swear to God. And she said she'll deal with it. Then I recall a meeting I had with her and David Abdullah. And we both told her about corruption in the government. And then she said there's nothing she can do about it. So I'm saying to you that it's not to say that she's unaware. I mean, how could she be unaware of Ganga Singh? How could she be unaware of Gopi Singh? How could she be unaware of Monilal? The whole country knows. And these are the people who she appointed first to go up for election. It means that she has subscribed to their wrongdoing and will even subscribe more to it if given a second term.
Right? That Jack Warner, but he right up under she crutch. I seen it just how it is, you know. That's my opinion. You say all them kind of things, that's why she has to treat all this so. All this shameless as man. All them things, all they say about the woman, all they right up under she crutch still. Always any kind of man, all the believable. So John Jeremy going up on a stage for UNC after he was involved in all the doing the case and all kind of things for the PR and all them kind of thing, and he know about all them things, and he go on there. He could be any influence to anybody. All this sick, yes. She talking about no tax and cut the tax and all that. Listen to this.
In government, Mrs. Prasad Bissessa reintroduces property tax for the 2017 period with the following rationale.
I propose to phase in these taxes over the period 2014 to 2017, during which time the properties will be valued and consultations will be held with all stakeholders. In phase 1, and effective immediately, we shall commence valuations of all industrial land, including plant and machinery, whether house or in-house. We impose a tax on commercial properties, and in phase 3, we impose a tax on agricultural lands and on residential properties.
According to the timeline given by the former Finance Minister, Larry Hawaii, we're well within the threshold of the property tax reintroduction. It's instructive that the current Finance Minister, Kaumimba, allowed for the 2017 period to arrive, well within the timeline given by his predecessor. So what exactly seems to be the problem now? Well, let's take a listen.
So we intend to fight this property tax. We have a strong view it is unconstitutional. It is illegal, on top of which is a pressure, a tremendous pressure on citizens who are already beleaguered with the state of our economy, with the crime, with the loss of jobs, and a situation in which we can only say it's a cruel, wicked, and heartless government.
So there we have it. The erstwhile Prime Minister, Mrs. Prasad Bissessa, now opposition leader, seems to have a convenient policy of hypocrisy in relation to property tax. The record indeed shows a very clear timeline enunciated by her Finance Minister, Larry Hawaii, for the reintroduction of property tax. But now, conveniently, she says that the property tax she initially did the groundwork for is illegal and unconstitutional, would you believe? It's amazing how lawyers have this country and its people utterly bamboozled. I mean, you can't make any of this up.
Right? Guys are telling us lie. Lies stink. These are serious times, you know. Because this one offering up herself as a
so we have to try to create opportunity.
We have putting up herself as a virtue and morals, and she's the one to save us. And that nasty woman is the one who over 8,000 African youth was locked up under she. Look how she just had the youth and them. Watch it. You think the PNM will ever take a young person and make them do this? And be unacceptable? Wait. Well, remember this?
Look out. Saying the man who wields the sword of vengeance will be the first
Rowley, a dog! Look Rowley, a dog! Look how right he cried.
As a priest,
Rowley.
I have the privilege, I have the happiness of forgiving sins.
Running behind the... Well, you hear that? That's Trinidad killer. Before you went here, always take an African person to stand up with a person of Indian descent and cuss African person. You never hear an Indian stand up with an African to cuss an ex-Indian. Don't matter how vex days, they will cuss one another in the community when they by themselves, but they will never stand up. It might be a rare occasion. But it's easy to do that and feel to do something. So, yeah. I remember this boy who does do thing, who they sing Palance with Jason Williams. I remember during the election, he put up a picture of Kamala Pasal-Bissessar when she was young. And then turned around laughing and saying he couldn't find a picture of Dr. and he put one of a bulldog. I will never forget that. It hurt me to show that you could even put a little bald-head baby, you know, whatever, you put a picture of a dog. But for Kamala Pasal-Bissessar, you make sure you find a picture of a young Kamala to put up, and then say, can't find one of Dr. then you put one of a dog. That's what we people, some of we does do. He can't tell me a lie. What is his name? The kind of thick one he does do wrong up or wrong, something, whatever it is. He sing with Jason Williams when they sing Palance and thing. I can't remember his name. That's what he do. And big laughing and all kind of thing with that. That is what we, somehow we, that sit down and do. And then turn around now and want to sell that self-hate. Yeah? From where it coming from, for we to go and line up with that. We're rejecting that. Let me continue. So, Kamala says she's so loved. She loves us because PNM never said they love you. But when the PNM have this song, we love you so we take good care of you, they ridicule it. But now today she's saying PNM never say they ever love them. She love all you. So she abuse you verbally, mentally. And then coming now to play savior, she love you. All they get tired. All the young ones and them who ain't no history proper like that one from Patriotic Front who sit down there and talk that pack of shit. To talk about as the PNM that take the country into the IMF and then it had a coup. Even know history. And I don't mean to disrespect the youth, you know, because I'm happy to see you again, but have your facts. Don't go and embarrass yourself like that because you want to show. You could fight down, man, and Patrick, man. Calm yourself, drink your tea, sip it cool. So, she care about people. When was her tenure? And it had the oil spill down in Library. What she do for the Library people? Huh? They had to write in the papers, put us first. That's how much she care. Is it because Library full of only mostly African people? I just asking. So this was in the Trinidad Express, 26th of December 2013. This was a message yesterday from Library residents whose lives have been unpended by the effects of the oil spill that have come on the beaches in the areas close to their homes. The residents said they have taken note of the state's rapid response to the flood disaster that has struck in St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, and would like the same response to their appeal for help. Residents said far more was being done by the state to give relief supplies to St. Lucians, whereas Trinidadians were suffering financially, medically, and socially from the spills which came a short 12 days ago. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has called on the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management to ship supplies from its national supply warehouse to St. Lucia, where 5 died from floods that came following torrential rain that began on Christmas Eve night. 8 people have died in St. Vincent. The ODPM has also sent canned goods, infant formulas, biscuit, water, blankets, mattresses, as well as disaster hygiene and first aid kits to St. Lucia. ODPM Chief Executive Officer Dr. Stephen Ramroop and Rear Admiral Richard Kelshal went to the island on Thursday to start the delivery of the relief items immediately. Of the efforts being made to help St. Lucia, Labour resident Tanisha Modest said yesterday, "We are disappointed our Prime Minister did not respond as quickly as she did to those other countries. We thought she could have responded to our situation better as she did to those others. She did not make it look like we were as important because you're black." You saw the treating Larry Lala because he black, his skin black. You saw the treating Dr. Ravi because his skin black. Persad-Bissessar said several ministers visited Labour last Friday, 1 week after the spill. 1 week after. Mothers and mother of one said most of the children from the area have been complaining of asthma attacks, pain in their chest, nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, and the parents were taking them to seek medical attention every day. "We need a doctor on site to look after these children," said mothers. But she Kamla didn't care about the children. Getting oil prices back then over $100 and something. They could have well afford to liaise with Augustus Long and this one and that one and had doctors. Because right now she's saying, put them into power, they will get doctors to go house to house. Why she didn't get doctors back then and had money to go house to house to deal with the Labour residents when they had the oil spill? So the children would not be going through the mental and physical and emotional and painful stress they was going through. Another resident, Virgil Wade Gilbert, said, "This is disrespectful. They are treating the other Caribbean islands nice, and we are like dogs in the back here. This situation is in your yard. Home comes first. You have to act like you care. This is a disaster right here." But she telling all they know she care after they lock up over 8,000 African youths, right? They tell me they love you. Hear how these citizens of Labour was crying out for help with that oil disaster, the oil spill in Labour, and she helped. The relief effort in Labour is being led by corporate communication officers with state-owned Pritchardton. The company has employed some residents of Labour to help with a cleanup effort, while providing meals to residents living in a zone where the use of open flame is not permitted. The Labour Community Center has been designated as temporary shelter for approximately 100 residents directly affected by the spill. However, residents have chosen not to use the center and have instead asked that they be relocated to a Housing Development Corporation HDC units. The cleanup efforts along the shoreline continue today. Where was she care? Where was the care, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, for the black people that you so love, that you say PNM in love? Where was the care for Labour? Where was the care for Labour? A week after the spill, all they start a little thing and Pritchardton was really little this. I remember the back and this sometimes the food sour and all kind of thing. Where was the care? But you like black people. I wonder asking if it was in Bamboo, if it was in Kuva, if it was in Caroni, would the response have been the same as in Labour? We have more African people living. I just asking a question, but you love we. All this, all here. Take God at all our thoughts. Everybody telling me, Everybody telling me. Okay, listen to Senator Obiga, he was right there.
We are 12 days away from a general election, and by now the whole of Trinidad and Tobago is aware that the UNC is using a social media blackface campaign. They've abandoned the Rainbow Nation imaging and have gone almost exclusively for persons of African descent. And when they're called out on it by, well, almost everyone, they then turn around and use 2 time-tested psychological tactics in deception: psychological projection and gaslighting. Gaslighting, they spit in the sky till it's raining, make you doubt your current reality is what you're experiencing, but keep calling them out on it. The second one, psychological projection, is where they accuse you of doing what they're guilty of. They chock full their campaigns with persons almost exclusively of African descent, not giving them a platform. It's not empowerment, it's exploitation. And when you call them out on it, when the PNM calls them out on it, when anyone who has eyes to see, call them out on it, they tell you you're playing the race card.
Right? He was right there, he know. He hear the words they used to use to describe African people, the N word. But John Jeremy going to stand up there to talk about PNM racism. PNM don't have a history of discrimination and racism. The UNC has a history of discrimination and racism, and it can be proven. But it have, again, them influencers who look like me. Nobody is studying all money, all they get out of their business. But all they jump in to talk about politics, when all they know is nothing. I want to get other young people to buy into to vote for Kamala Service as a woman who don't like African people. A woman who detests African people. There's enough evidence to show that. Because I say like she didn't even like herself. But all they comfortable with that. Listen to the UNC again. It's not we saying so. So if them saying it, what I supposed to do? Not listen? Am I not supposed to believe it? Listen.
Son of the organization, the president general of the organization, that is his son. So therefore, what do you think is happening? What do you think is going to happen? At the end of the day, this is worrying to me, because you know what? People have come to me and they have said they should be concerns. I'm going to talk about those concerns in a way. Let's go again. Got everything right? Look at this. This is how Africans are being portrayed all over the internet. Go again. Right? And almost every ad we are seeing we're talking about people hungry and people who the Senate is African people. And this is being pushed by who? The United National Congress. In almost every ad. And people ain't better than it. We're trying to target what they call it, what they are set up hungry. That is basically what they're telling you. And unless you're British, you can't see that. Unless you're stupid, you can't see that. Almost every ad. So, what are you going to do? For me, I will expose the facts. Notice I have not said who to vote for as yet. I have not said one thing as yet. Because at the end of the day, that is not right. If you want to hear me, there's only 2 parties that I'm telling you not to vote for. You see that fellow who will be talking on Facebook there, one is a family, and he talk about parents' mother. You want to go Philip? We're doing this celebration. That is a good celebration on 2 school races, like 6 years. So, bring this in. And you see the present composition of the UNC, and we make this clear. You see the rubber service as a dark woman. That woman looking up, she has a good heart. And I want to make this abundantly clear. I've spoken to her, no more speaking. She has a good heart. But unfortunately, that good heart is being controlled by the puppet cinema. And the puppet cinema are the ones telling her what to do. When this land, the Belka land is given to us, 7 members of her cabinet objective.
Right? I don't believe nothing. Kamala have no good heart. Kamala had black like that. All they talk about their control. I hear all that, but for you, you could have a good heart, But if you're being controlled by people to do the wrong thing, you just find a time to walk away from it. You just get away from it. If you have goodness in you, you'll walk away, you'll get away from it. Once you stay in that, you have no good heart. You ain't have no good heart for them things were happening in the USA. He imagine he's an Indian and he telling African people if we strip it or what. Yes, you're the portraying all they're like hungry mouth, eating grass. And you tell me that influencers and them trying to encourage young people to vote for UNC? Well, we have no pride again at all. Again, I'm not telling nobody and who vexed with to vote. I'm not interested. I can't tell nobody who they should vote or vote for. I will have an opinion and I will talk about me, go tell you, yes, you go, yeah, no. And I'm not vexed with nobody who want to vote ABC. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a set of young people now all over social media. Nothing wrong with that. Influencers. I sometimes just watch the thing and get my little kicks and all that. But I see this fellow who does go by street cred or something. I download something he's there. And I know I have it, but I want to tell him, brother, you stay strong. He said he's not getting himself involved in that. That's, he's not getting, basically like we say, he's not getting himself involved in that to say who to vote for and who not to, he's not getting himself in no politics thing. Wherever he do anything, he cool with that. Why all they can continue doing all the thing, all they building all the creds, all they jump in the politics, and all they never used to talk about politics and trying to tell me to vote, trying to tell young people to vote for a racist, corrupt party. They have all the evidence to show that, or they have no evidence to show that the PNM racist and corrupt. That's the problem. Come with all the evidence if all they have evidence that the PNM is racist and corrupt. And people thief. All they talking about is the $2.6 billion and there was no thief in there. The Auditor General never said nobody thief. Accounting error and a mistake is not thief. It happens. It happened in America in one of them states, $3 billion. It happened in the, I think the Pentagon, Pentagon with some weapon deal or some kind of bacchanal. It was no thief. Those things happen. Jayanti Ramdas never say, come remember, thief no money. It was a accounting error, and she's the one who drag on this thing like this because she didn't. This is my opinion. She could take me to court. My opinion, if she didn't do her due diligence and do her job, and she back up in her position, or if she do anything, it will look like she really didn't do she walking through. Because how she department didn't find that error. It's senior public officers and them who alert. The whole scene with that. And when they're trying to meet with you, you don't want to meet, and they contact the PS. Because we want them to do. When they can't get on to they tell the minister. The mistake he make, you should have never called, you should have leave every blasted thing just so. But wanted to make sure the public officers who were anxious and worried to make sure this thing done properly, he reached out and Jai wanted that with the whole bacchanal reach. That with the whole bacchanal reach. Why shouldn't do she work? So that was the only thing that I saw was right through, and as I say, oh Halloran and Pravat. Oh Halloran and Pravat. But we have so much incidents of corruption in the UNC, the own say so, and them now talking about yellow is the code. Vote for UNC. Why? Why are they fooling young people so if all they get all the money, all they apply all the business? But don't encourage young people to vote for a party where they just call them the N-word, where they don't care about them. They say we go eat grass, we monkey, we ugly, we duncy. And again, I talk about the UNC, not all Indian people. Why are they encouraging African youths to vote for that? In my opinion, all ain't even convicted in what they're saying. It's just for the money, in my opinion, it probably is. So, listen to this. This is
leader of the movement for social justice. David Abdullah admits that former Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar knew about corruption in her government but did nothing to stop it. During an MSJ meeting in Marabella, Mr. Abdullah, who hopes to form the next government, recalled a meeting in 2012 when he was part of the People's Partnership Administration. He said he brought to Mrs. Persad-Bissessar's attention that corruption would bring down the government.
She herself agreed with me and then said she can't do anything about it. She's not going to do anything about it. So she was part of the corruption if she was not prepared to stop the corruption. Because since of omission and sins of commission. And if you know something is wrong and you don't do anything about it, then you are as guilty as the wrongdoer is.
He then warned the listeners to be aware of her apologies, reminding them about Little Red Riding Hood.
Now she's trying to rebrand herself.
Leader of the Movement for Social Justice, David.
He said she tried to rebrand herself, and he went on to talk about, remember, Red Riding Hood and the wolf and whatever, right? But the point is, he said she could. I must give him tips. He put back himself there at all. He put back himself in that at all. He stay out of that. But who put up the self? Roger. This is what Roger said about Kamala Persad-Bissessa and them. And Kamala want to tell me the PNM give the contract to friend and family. Kamala Persad-Bissessa is saying he is a dirty, dangerous, nasty liar. It have enough evidence to show that. And it's not we say.
Corruption. Fellow citizens, as a people, we must never accept corruption. Under the People's Partnership, it has reached the scale of billions of dollars. When we consider the multi-million-dollar contracts given out to their friends, families, and financiers, and the controversial and questionable method by which these contracts are given out, we have absolutely no choice but to conclude that this is the most corrupt government we have ever experienced. This brutal and evil practice of corruption has brought terrible pain and suffering, anguish to the majority of our citizens, while a few continue to amass obscene wealth in the hundreds of millions.
Right?
Fellow citizens.
That Roger saying that. And she come back talking that is what Roger said. And that is what Senator Baker talked about, the psychological part. They're making you feel that what you're saying is not true, is what they're saying. So Roger tell me they get contracted, a friend and the family, obscene contract, they became millionaires overnight, and they're using it back now to say the PNM. Who, you ever hear Roger? With all the thing, Roger is saying, you ever hear Roger say the PNM corrupt? Check it out now, all you. All the thing Roger that began on with. Have you ever heard Roger make a video and say the PNM corrupt and the thief money? You ever, any one of them, all the talk they talk, you ever hear them make a video and say that the PNM thief money from the treasury as if they have a right to thief? As if they invented it? Check all yourself now. Check all yourself and see if they ever said anything about the PNM. Tell me if they ever said this about the PNM.
When Pastor Dutton told us that an MP was seen 1:50 in the morning with a well-known bandit, those were his words, a well-known bandit, who was surprised. And on top of that, her leader put her on a podium to speak about crime. Who is surprised again? Because the UNC is a haven for criminals. They come to you with crocodile tears, crying and making it look as though that they are so concerned, they're so cared, trying to squeeze as much emotion out of you as possible when they are a safe haven for criminals. It has been proven before.
Right? Well, you hear that? Not me say so. Not me say so. Eh? But them young people want to tell other young people the code. The code is yellow. Vote the UNC. Oh God, all that wickedness, boy. That wickedness, because if all you know all the subject matter, all you will not to stay far from the UNC. Listen to this one time you do that something.
Bill to strengthen money laundering and anti-terrorism laws. But not before opposition MP Colin Imbert could bust a mark, as he put it. He spoke of an illegally occupied parcel of state land in Vega de Oro Puch, one that, according to a property ordinance he produced, was audaciously bequeathed to an alleged criminal whose name was at the center of the live sports scandal.
In consideration of the natural love and affection which I have and bear towards Hassan Ali. You know that name? A criminal is transferring state land to a
another criminal, which the Minister of National Security has said is involved in most of the murders in Maloney and Long Ketters. The Ministry of Energy knows that the gentleman from Karapo has fabricated a false deed and has acquired state land in his name and is illegally mining material and selling it to the Point 14 highway.
The minister.
Huh? Not me say them thing. Right? But they're trying to tell we and trying to encourage young people to vote for. That is wrong. That is wrong. Again, I'm not saying who nobody should vote for and align. That is not what I'm saying. But all of us say that all they want to know the truth. Young people wanted to keep it real. Tell them the truth. But all these young people and all they lying to other young people. Why are they doing that? Listen to this again.
Seeking company. The MSJ and its leader David Abdullah does not care for the company of miserable, dishonest people. Imagine of all persons, Rudal Munilal, a man about whom there is nothing honorable, who is dishonest and unprincipled, and in the dictionary such a person is called a rogue. When you see he's trying to fabricate a story to tarnish the good name of David Abdullah, a man who walked away from corruption of the partnership government and who helped remove them from power, you know he is feeling, and this is Dr. Munila, miserable and looking for company. Why would we say that Dr. Munilal is a miserable man? It all goes back to being part of the kleptocratic elites who are now currently out of power, the UNC. If you go to Wikipedia, it is clearly laid out for all to see and understand. A kleptocracy is a government with corrupt leaders, kleptocrats, that use their power to exploit the people and natural resources of their own territory in order to extend their personal wealth and political powers. Typically, this system involves embezzlement of funds at the expense of the wider population. A kleptocracy is a government ruled by corrupt politicians who use their political power to receive kickbacks, bribes, and special favors at the expense of the populace.
That the UNC talking about that coming up a service session and them youth and them on thing by and encouraging people, trying to encourage young people to vote for the UNC. So wait is always saying that young people have no values, young people have no morals, young people have no ethics. Young people just want just money and then business of it. That's what they're trying to teach people. What they're teaching all that children by. And again, this is nothing against nobody, but all they want real talk. All they say young people keep it real between because they all are out to touch granny, tanty, all that. Okay. But at the same time, if that is the culture, all they want to keep cultivating, then all ain't gonna reach nowhere. You ain't gonna reach nowhere. Listen to this. Listen to this. Hey, Kamala even like she own. And that will make it dangerous when she don't even like she own. And now me say so. Me say so. Let me get for you. Oh, remember Cambridge Analytica? That was real, you know. The Cambridge Analytica gone from do so to social influencers saying the code is the yellow is the code. That way gone to it ain't not do so again is the code. And then using no billboard and all them thing again. They're using the social influencers. Right? To say. What do you think what you're saying, no? to say the code. I keep telling all you that code is IMF. Because Kamala Prasad Session and she crew, they can't negotiate a deal to save themselves. They can't go with nobody to bring no investment here. Because all the money they was spending, it was internal money they're spending. All the money that it have in this country, that what they was spending. Yeah? And in this rounds, with the way how things going, where they get the money? So when they don't spend internally, where the next place they go, not the IMF? All year. All year. I had the thing here just now, you know. Where the pundit talking. Remember the pundit say Kamala Prasad never help no Indian people. He says so. The pundit says so. If I find it today, I go find it tomorrow. But I see it somewhere here, you know. He says so. He had to know what he talking about. Because I'm not a Hindu, right? And I don't go any mosque, I don't go any I'm not Muslim either.
I'm not sure too many in the congregation would have predicted that the pundit's Sunday service on the life of Hindu saint Tulsi Das would have pivoted to this.
I want to tell all of you, do not make a mistake and vote for Kamala Prasad and Shiki.
The pundit posited that the opposition leader and star slate are poor role models.
Look at the lifestyle. Is that what you want your children to become? That's what your children to be? They have done nothing for us.
And if that wasn't enough, he claimed the current UNC leadership has failed to meaningfully stand up for Indo-Trinbagonian people, a segment of the population which he said suffers tremendously at the hands of criminals.
She don't like Hindu people. Look at the UNC, never had one Indian person to get a permanent job. 4 Indians are suffering because of the US, because of Kamala.
I'm a life member of the UN. But if the UNC isn't serving me or serving my community, then who am I going to turn to?
Pandit Dubey said he saw potential in the young PNM candidate back then.
He needed assistance and I was here to help him because I saw promise in him for a better Charlie.
The pundit said his frankness about the UNC's conduct has won him no friends with loyalists, but he underscored he is no PNM operative.
Right? The pundit who sit down in the temple and he telling them, don't vote for UNC. That star, what you call it, star, slate, whatever, them is the ones who in office they know as opposition. He telling Indian people, don't vote for UNC because Kamala never helped no Indian. She never gave them nothing. So nobody tell her Kamala don't even like Indian people. So what's it for African people? Kamala only like, in my opinion, she friends, family, and financiers because Roger said that was who she gained contract to. So all they keep with code is what? Yellow is the code. And see where that will take Trinidad and Tobago. Because right now, is negotiations had to happen. Kamala them can negotiate. On the last time Kevin Ramrang go and negotiate, they only didn't negotiate because this country, $900 million to some Japanese, some Mitsubishi something. And it's this government under Dr. Keith Christopher Oli and Minister Stuart Young as Minister of Energy had to go up. Well, he sent Stuart Young up, who is Prime Minister now, up to Japan to renegotiate because that would have taken me straight to the IMF if the people wanted the money one time. The last time, they just shaking up some dirty water in a bottle and boiling gold and we get Jubilee and all kind of damn shit, dirty water. That is how Kamala and them does lie. And what they're trying to tell me code is yellow. Yellow in penicillin. Anytime woman, anything dripping with yellow, it ain't good. You get cut and it start to run yellow, you know you have to go to hospital with that because something ain't right to that. You bust a button, wherever, it's yellow does drop out. And then after, when the yellow come out and thing, you see blood come out, you say, yes, it cleansed now. Let me continue. So, Kamala had Jack up on the show, Jack right up on the show, and this is what she's saying about Jack. Only tell me these people right.
And I want you to remember This man is like a jack in a box who is trying to jump out of the box. And that box is that he must answer for racketeering, he must answer for wire fraud transfer, he must try to jump out of the box. And that box is that he must answer for racketeering, he must answer for wire fraud transfer, he must answer for money laundering, and those charges are not by us here. Those charges have come from every country around the world. One thing you have to say about Mr. Warner, he does not discriminate. He took money from every continent in the world, including right here in the Caribbean, from Haiti.
Right? And that is who in she party. He called she corrupt and a thief. She called he a thief. Panda say he said she drunk and fall long. And they said the nastiest thing, he said she would like a man, she did, she got whatever. And today he's sitting with she. Roger say the same kind of nastiness about she. Career for she as she. And so all kind of nasty thing about she, however, he's sitting on there with she. Well, the next one all there, Michael Annie said, the one who say he's the president at SWWTU. I want to say it had to be true because I never hear him come and denounce it. He did get charged in America for touching the woman, Well, I see something on social media stating some court dates. And they said the 28th of April, he have to appear in a court in America. So if it's the same Michael, and he said he can't vote, but he up on stage trying to convince people to vote UNC. And he had to go based on the thing I see, and based on the fact that the documents we had before that he never says not he. He called it, asked him and they say if he had to be in America by April the 20th to go and answer charges for touching. Forceful touching. Ask him what he touched on the woman and what he exposed to the woman. And that is who want we and the young people to consider Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Yes. I see Sadiq Bash is back out. I don't know where they're dragging them from. I don't know where they're dragging them out from. Sadiq Bash is out there now. They run all the young people. UNC run everything young. The young ones that they have around them, dumb, loyalists, them a sycophant. And they're just bringing out these peoples. And Sadiq Bash, this was in Trinidad and Tobago News Forum in 2004. Former United National Congress UNC Minister Sadiq Bash was yesterday granted $1 million bail when he appeared in court on 2 charges arising out of Piaco Airport Development Project investigation. Bash, 53 at that time, surrendered to officers of the Anti-Corruption Bureau of Investigations at Richmond Street, Port of Spain, around 9 a.m. yesterday. He was accompanied by his lawyers, Prakash Ramadar, Chaitam Sinanan, and Kelvin Ratiram. After he was processed by the investigating officer, Senior Superintendent Maurice Pigot, Bash was taken in an unmarked police car to the Port of Spain Magistrate Court. He alighted from the vehicle and waved and smiled to persons who had turned up to show their support to the UNC senator. He was taken to the court cells to await his appearance before the magistrate. He out there now supporting some candidate, Lord Father. Woo! Put our hand, yes, Papa. Put our hand. Oh, that's the wrong day, but I want to tell you where's the code. Listen to
every opportunity I got, I sung the praises of the Tribunals as a former police officer. Because despite I sung the praises of the Tribunals
as a former police officer. Because despite your challenges, the Trinidad police officer actually one of my first job I entered when I was 18 years old. So, if I have a good work ethic, your opinion is that I have a good work ethic is because of the foundation in as a young police officer. As a young police officer. And I was very happy to work alongside men and women who were committed to the duty and gave of their best, and sometimes their lives and their family lives, to serve this country. Despite their challenges, they found creative ways to rise above those challenges, and they represent the tragedy through the series. A former colleague of yours found himself on a platform, political platform, and had used to see your challenges, saying that you are operating in eating countries. And I find that to be very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. The same organization that put food on your table and give you an opportunity to serve your country. So less than 1 or 2 days after you decide to resign from the organization to pursue your political agenda, you are seeing use of the organization. And this morning, I can tell you, right here in South Africa, he did not deserve the badge you deserve. And he had no right to rise to the rank of senior superintendent if that is his conduct, which is 24 to 14 hours after the position. And when he said that the organization is performing in the 1800s, and perhaps what I know of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and your capacity in the fight against crime, perhaps you saw it. That's the reason why you did not expose him to some of your technology and your resources, because perhaps he had always a risk to national security, even when he served as the senior superintendent. And therefore, I have to trust your judgment, because perhaps he was not exposed to the full apparatus of national security in Trinidad.
Right, so if you all didn't hear properly, that is basically Minister of National Security Marvin Gonzalez, who was speaking to some police officers. I'm not sure exactly where that took place. And he was speaking to them, letting them know that he was a police officer himself. I'm paraphrasing things he's saying, and the standard they held and all that, and that officer who rose to the rank as superintendent or whatever, that is Alexander he's talking about a day or 2 days after resigning from the police service, went on a platform and had the words to say about the same police service that he was a part of, that he raised through the rank. And speaking about the police operating in some, in an arcade time. So Minister Marvin Gonzalez is saying, probably is because, I'm paraphrasing it, the technology that the police had, they didn't show he because the overseas a risk. So, but that's a good thought too. Yeah, in the police service all these years, you raise up the rank, you rise through the rank. As a police officer, you rise through the rank. You retire from it. A day after, 2 days after, you're on a political platform and you're talking the place that it was all them years, where you're drawing your money and all them kind of thing. And you now know the arcade. And you was in charge of divisions or whatever the case may be. So, again, the UNC always attract or they know what they attract. It ain't the best and the brightest. It can never be, because the best and the brightest walk away. All this, and Kamala love, she love people, she love Indian people, she love African people, she love Shul. Well, listen to this. This is domestic abuse.
It is no longer an allegation, but a hard fact that several charges have been filed with the police against UNC candidate Adrian Ollie. One of the allegations is that the UNC candidate sexually assaulted a woman. Well, it is no longer an allegation, but a hard fact that several charges have been filed with the police against UNC candidate Adrian Ollie. One of the allegations is that the UNC candidate sexually assaulted a woman while handling his licensed firearm. Perhaps Adrian Ollie took his leader's advice to stand his ground. Even more disturbing, Kamala knew about the allegations, but decided to turn a blind eye to the matter. She received a gift of $300,000 from the low-cost supermarket. In the meantime,
I want to say these are allegations. This is not me put a state together or anything. These are allegations, okay?
The young woman lives in fear because the report has disappeared, although she had a receipt for her complaint. Her boyfriend has also received threats against him. How can Kamala call herself the mother of the nation when she condones violence against women? I guess it's party before country as usual.
This is a seat that whether Adrian runs in it or we change the candidate, we will win. So it is not that Adrian is pivotal to us winning the seat. So we have no special reason to say that, we have to protect Adrian because without Adrian we can't win the seat.
All right. So you hear a voice stating, this Adrian they're talking about, he is so pivotal for them to win. Whether they or not, they will still win the UNC seat. And you hear the things that this Adrian accused of, but Kamala love. She loved the children, she loved the young people, she loved African people, she loved everybody, but like she loves herself. This is a serious election, And all who want to influence, they don't know these things or they don't care to know these things. I don't know which one. This is, let me see if I can read this quickly. This is an interesting perspective by Michael Harris, The Black Mask of Yellow Politics, the UNC campaign. The United National Congress UNC has launched its latest election campaign with a flood of promotional content featuring Afro-Trinbagonian faces, an unusual pivot from a party historically criticized for its lack of diversity in leadership and frontline representation. Suddenly, the faces of Black men and women dominate their posters, social media ads, and videos. This superficial display of inclusion reeks not of progress, but of political convenience. The same party whose corridors of power remain visibly homogeneous now parades Black citizens as the face of its cause, not to uplift them, but to disguise true intentions. Beneath this performative outreach lies a dangerous subliminal message that the Afro-Trinbagonian community has been neglected by the government and thus, by implication, now turns to the UNC. But the party messaging never tells the full story. It conveniently ignores the many national programs like MIC, YTEP, GATE, HYPE, and NESC that have uplifted thousands of Black youths and families across the country. Instead of encouraging people to take advantage of those resources, the UNC pushes a narrative of hopelessness, dependency, and victimhood, undermining agency within the very communities they claim to champion. This strategic silence on empowerment is no accident. It is by design. The UNC has not used its platform to guide people towards opportunities or solutions. Not once have they launched a national initiative focused on Afro-Trinbagonian education, entrepreneurship, or development. Instead, they fuel resentment, recycling talking points about what hasn't been given without even addressing what has been available or asking their supporters how they have used it. This is not advocacy. It is exploitation masquerading as inclusion. What's unfolding is a campaign of manipulation, Black faces used as masks of yellow ambition. It is a deeply troubling tactic that insults the intelligence and dignity of the Afro-Trinbagonian population. The message is clear. We only see you when we need you. And yet, while they wave the banner of solidarity now, one must ask, where were these voices, faces, and concerns during the time of power? When the paint of the campaign fades, will these same faces remain visible, or will they be discarded once more as they were before? The UNC is not an option. If the UNC wins, nobody wins. And that is what we have been saying. So that is why I'm saying these persons of African descent who are out there trying to convince people that the code is here and vote UNC because the PNM races and PNM do nothing for African people. It's because when the UNC go on platform, they don't ever talk about the programs that are there. They never try to empower. If you listen to them in truth, there's no empowering of the black youth, you know. It's to make the black youth just sit down and cry and say, the PNM ain't give we nothing, we ain't get nothing, that's small money. That's all it is about. How could that be good for society? But you know what? They ain't telling their children that, you know. They're making sure their children go and be doctor, lawyer, take all opportunity, take all programs, take hype, every damn thing. But when they get on a stage, they're telling the African people to go and tell other African people, PNM is gay, all they nothing, all they want nothing. 69. It was 69, eh? Go up in Hilton, once at that police security all kind of thing. Hands up, put your hand on your lip, all kind of thing. That's how she had African people and get 69 color me orange. Again, I said, like sport, where could I be something good for the African youth? All it is, get them something to eat, get them some money, they ain't do nothing. 5 years they're going through that, or 3-4 years. They tell themselves the place of money. Me have to do nothing, boy. I gain something, boy. And now they can't get me something, boy, because usually that is not how you get me something. You go and you study, you get a stipend. When you finish, you open a business, or you go and work, you do OJT or something work hard. They may like that. I like Auntie Cam's because when she was there, we said that easy. When she was getting money to get it easy. Now times are a little tighter. And she had all the money to invest. She closed on all the, UNC closed on all the youth camps. So training our African children who gravitated to trade. That goal. Close on John D. Anywhere African people, children, could go to learn a trade or something, come and them close it down. But they love we. They love we to be like a little lap dog. Get you a little bit, run you out there, and then you cuss African people. And they come back, they pat you on the head, and get you a little man say, go cuss that one day. And you run out again and cuss. How I do? Rowdy, you dog. And you watch it so, and she come. African people, some of them check on themselves. Eh? So, know who all they're staining all their finger for. I have some of that stuff I will play. I ain't gonna play it today. Let me just read this and tell you what is there the PNM is offering. Because the PNM actually talking and say what they're offering. Eh? The PNM have a plan. They're telling you how they will implement the plan. You're seeing the young people gravitating to the plan. They're excited about the plan. It's something new. They always say it's only old people in politics. You know, people. Now you have Prime Minister Seo Jong, the youngest Prime Minister. You have Dr. Nyan Gaspi, you have Marvin Gonzalez, you have Brian Manning, you have Senator Ronuka, you have the two queens from Tobago, Shamfa Kojo Lois, you have Ayana Webster Roy. That means the young people, and then you have the ones under the Morel Mateo one between. You have Madam Camille Robinson-Regis, you have Penelope Beckers, you have Comemble, you have Ron Selanan. So you have a nice blend and a nice mix. The energy is there. When you look at Kamala Prasad, she failing. She health is failing. You can see it is alleged she actually went Pampers. It is alleged. But if it is true, I'm not surprised, because if you're diabetic, you're smoking and drinking all this age, your kidney will be affected. What your kidney does do, not clean your blood of all the poison and the toxin, whatever urea, and you pass it through as urine. So is it any surprise that she really went a pampering through it? Probably that's why she can't go nowhere and stay for long, because then people go smell she's smelling PC. I just saying if it's true. But I wish she have, and then the young ones that she have, the dumb. Pararat, Khadija, them dumb. Them dumb. In fact, duns. Come on, D, capital UNC, come on, E. Duns. Or they run Anita. Anita could have run rings wrong. Mohit and all them any day. And talk sense. Have a good debate. Mohit could debate anything. God give me a blasted chance, eh? Let me see how long this is. I don't know if I'm reading it or not. It's not lengthy, so let me read it quick. So this is from Rafiq Shah. I was always say he's one of the baddest Indian I know. Respectfully, I'm talking about his militants here. Okay? So this was the 12th April in the Express. For whom is saying the finger. In the 45 years I've been writing a weekly column for one newspaper or other, I have never advised my readers which candidate or what party they should vote for. I started with a satirical column, MP for the Masses, in 1980, and the run-up to the 1981 general elections, the first since the 1956 that Dr. Eric Williams was not at the helm of the PNM, having died in 1980. I wrote a combination of humor addressing the economic fortunes of TNT, took pot shots at politicians. By then, I had completed my one term as elected MP for Superior, where in 1976, I had polled the third highest number of votes, 6,601, with only PNM George Chambers and Buram Jatan polling more votes. The key to maintaining a fierce independence, even as I demolished many and egotistical minions, is to remain principled. This stance allowed me wide freedom to criticize from Dr. Eric Williams down to the man who sat on an MP's chair for 5 years and never so much as whispered a word of silence, MP Hadio Haradat. PNM no river. PNM no river. Several political parties tried to woo me to run for a seat in my best years, but I politely declined and preserved my integrity and my independence. The former, no one can challenge, and the latter, I breached with good reason. The general election, due to be held in 2 weeks, has been converted into a life-or-die battle, mostly for the United National Congress, and especially for its leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. In her bid to stay relevant and in the process destroying the careers of some decent young political aspirants, she has had to join forces with some dubious and devious characters. She has made the long and winding road from opposition leader to opposition leader share torture. In Marquis de Sade fashion, which is punishing, she has kept the pretenders to her throne at bay, reduced them to silent lambs, or in some cases onlookers, not even on the sidelines, but in their household, glued to their television sets. If the stakes were not high, I would have ignored her and moved on to serious politics. But the stakes are high. This is my country. She is playing with me, that she's playing with. I have known no place in the world other than this cursed, blessed country. And in the evening of my life, I plan to go nowhere. I shall stay right here. For being patriotic, people like me have watched with dismay as some politician rape the country, pillage it, and later on joined together to fix it. The oil, gas, and petrochemical industries have brought us joy and sorrow, shame and pride, as politicians use and abuse them. The curse of corruption, which is now embedded in our DNA, has stalked us from as far back as I can recall. I, the eternal optimist, have seen the country suffer and prosper after successive government. To borrow a timeless exclamation from made famous by PNM, my Dr. Desmond Carty, at a public meeting in the 1980s election, all of we thief. Damn right we did. A few of them, PNM, ULF, serve petty servants sentences. Others run free in some small case, still enjoying their ill-gotten gains, and yet others still hold high office, as much like penguins devil, the whining in the face. If I had the power to forgive, I may have extended that courtesy to a few. However, I cannot forget those, as Prasad Bissessa puts it, take milk from baby's mouth. UNC thieves, her thieves. It pained me to listen to her talk about who thief and from where, never once admitting that the biggest gang of thieves came from her inner cabinet. She said sin applies to the innocent looking. Some might be uncharitable and call them garnish. I call them thieves, and they should not get anywhere close to power. My fears of them getting in power again disturbs me. Nay, it terrifies me. If I am to retain my manhood, my patriotism, my pride in country, I must call on electors not to vote for the UNC. I am not telling you who you should vote for. There are at least 20 parties you can throw your support behind. Today I climbed down from my ivory tower and I advise you, whom should you not vote for? The UNC. Now I await the proverbial Shah. There's a PNM dog. Why your egg go and dead? I can't die yet. Who else will attempt to set all the wrongs some people seem intent in committing? Right? So that is Rafiq Shah there telling you, do not vote for the UNC. And he's a man has always remained very, very partial. He hit both sides hard when he ready. He talk it as it is. You like him or you don't like him, but he's telling you today, you can't let them bunch of thieves that is coming up beside Bissessa and she gang get back into office. Vote for anybody else, don't vote for them. I tell everybody telling me. Everybody telling me. Okay. This is what Kamala Prasad Bissessa is saying that make me believe that is IMF, we backside going, she gets into office. Because when they had oil prices, highest ever, this is what happened.
4 consecutive quarters of decline in real GDP in 2015 means Trinidad and Tobago is now officially in a recession. The country's external position will come under more pressure. Central government's fiscal deficit. 4 consecutive quarters of decline in...
And they had money. When Dr. Keith Christopher Raleigh, PNM, came in down in September, after she take 3 months and 14 days before she called the elections, after she signed off on a 14% wage increase for public officers quite up somewhere in May, she paid. She paid because she know the country was in recession, but nobody else did know. The governor of the central bank tell the incoming government that. So they come with a 14% to pay, no money, no way. They send the exchequer account into $33 billion in overdraft when they can only supposed to borrow 10 billion. 33, they borrow 23 extra. They take money from NGC. They take money from First Citizen. They tell the oil people and them don't pay nothing until 2024, 25 anyway. Yeah? They had a good time. The country in a recession, the government coming out to find money to pay the 14%. Yeah? They had all that money. They didn't do half the thing they're supposed to do. Instead, a thief. I say the thief because Rafiq Star said there's thief. Roger said there's thief. Abdullah said there's thief. Chakwana said there's thief. So I say it after them, UNC and them is thief. She coming out to tell me today. A bag of goodies.
In real GDP in 2015 means...
With a bag of goodies. So she go, get this, goodies, did all kind of things she says she's going to do. After they laugh at the dragon deal thing, and Trinidad, Ugly say no, David Lee say no, they will ask America for advice how to deal with the dragon deal. As I say Monday. So America could tell them how to get the dragon, get the gas out the dragon, and don't include Maduro in the conversation. And that the jackassness, ugly, and them want we to believe, but then have people out there balling, what? Yellow is the code. Listen to Kamala Persad. We know the state of the country, and we know we have to get more oil. It's not that we don't, more gas. We know it's not that we don't have any, because all the eggs wasn't in one basket. They have the calypso and all other things, drilling on wherever things still taking place, and then we'll be getting money from all now from gas. So it wasn't just dragon we waiting on alone. She knows the state of how things, she knows negotiations have to continue. She knows that with a president like Donald Trump, you have to have somebody who could talk and think, she can't talk good, she can't even walk good. She ain't looking good, nothing good. David Lee was yet. They might faint when they see him. And he don't know nothing about the energy sector. Nothing. Who you going to send? Hear what Kamala say, with all what she promising. When the economists and them say, what she promising is fantasy, unrealistic. It don't make sense. They say all that. Where she going to get the money? Hear this dirty woman.
Kamala will find the money. This is easy to say when you are someone who has a history of spending more money than the country makes. Because let us all not forget that it was under Kamala, the country had its largest budgets, a number that, even with world inflation, has never been reached since. This was a Prime Minister who was so far removed from life that she racked up a bill of over $6 million to travel across our small island via helicopter. She even had red steps abroad wherever she went to show how much better she was than the rest of us. And now some of you have forgotten her wastage and are shouting yellow is the code. Yes, yellow is the code, but of corruption and wastage.
Right? Straight to the IMF. Kamala Persad will take this country straight to the IMF. And when I want them young people who talking yellow is the code to understand when the IMF step in. You all them party that us go, the promoters and them ain't gonna have no money to promote no party, to bring no entertainers here, because that can't make no money to pay back the IMF. You see the social program, the granny and all of them does enjoy, that had to cut, because that ain't making money for IMF. Because I use spending money. Because I don't make money. You see the public service, that the first place they're going to cut, ask Barbados, 4,500 public sector workers had to go home in Barbados because of the IMF, because of the structural adjustment program, BRET, B-R-E-T, Barbados Economic Recovery Transformation or something. So go ask them. Under Mia Motley, who we love, 1,500 went, and under the government before she came in, when she said she wouldn't, you know, she all the government thing and all kind of things she told when she was in opposition, because the government laid out 3,000 public officers. When she came in, she had no choice, she had to lay off. That is what the IMF is about. Cut and walk a gate, gone. Sit up, gone. Always grant, gone. Young people, all the programs that the Ministry of Youth Development and National Services have, they go shut down that ministry because that ministry ain't making no money. All the programs gone, all youth programs gone, everything. Swimming pool, go have to close up. That ain't making no money. We go just have to work to make money to pay back the IMF. Structural adjustment. Go and read up on it. All you talking about the code is yellow. Go and read up on what the IMF is. That is what Kamala Persad is going to bring to this country, because they have no money for she to thief inside this country right now. Everything tight. So how they going to get loose money? Borrow loan from the IMF. And once you're in the clutches in the IMF and you can't take loan, interest. It's the same way. If you have no money home, money tight, things are a little tight home, your money just pay the bill, pay the whatever, and you want a little extra money, you just go to the bank, you borrow from a money lender, or whatever, that interest on that. And in order to pay back that, you have to cut from somewhere to pay back. Because your money don't cut so straight to pay everything. So any extra money you're going to take to do XYZ, you have to cut something to be able to pay back. So you have to cut on the food money, you cut on entertainment money, you cut on your clothes money. Somewhere you have to cut money to pay back. It's the same thing the country has to do. You borrow the money, you have to cut to get extra money. So if you cut the public service, recurring expenditure for the public service, you cut it by Say if it's $1 billion, I just call that figure. Say it's $1 billion every year in recurring expenditure to pay public officers, you cut that by half. So that's $500 million to pay IMF. And you cut all over to pay back IMF. And they over here like a drumbeat, watching to see what you're doing. Hey, no, you can't introduce that. No. Only remember how it was under NAR. People give back the keys. People crying. Public officers lost the job. Public officers give back the keys. They couldn't pay for the house in Santa Rosa. People had to move in with their mother, move in with their father, or fly out, leave the children here in the care of somebody. Send barrel children. Remember that? Discipline going out anyway because mommy and their daddy and their family mash up. Well, remember that? And then we hit with a coup. Eh? All that come out of what? Not the IMF situation. All the young people who talking about is the code and the code. All them must say was too young then, or was small then, all on their 30s and 40s. All they know not much about that. Because my children, them runs was like 5 years old and 6 years or something around this. So they don't really understand the scene. Them right now in the 40s and their 30s. So so all them social media people I see thinking they're looking like they're in their late 30s and that, or they don't understand what the IMF was about and is about. So go ahead with the code is yellow and feel the small money all they get. That can be maintained. That will be able to be maintained. That's a one-off thing. And when all they do that and encourage the young people to go and do that foolishness now, all of we have to sit down and watch one another and say, we coulda, we shoulda, we woulda. And oh God, you know it wasn't so hard under PNM. Oh God, you know PNM was really good in truth. Oh God, you remember all the programs the Ministry of Youth Development and National Services had? Oh God, yeah boy. And oh God, I coulda do with the stipend now, boy. Oh God, I coulda do with the food now. Oh God, I coulda. But only have an opportunity. Still have opportunity. And the opportunity is, I say it. All you could take from it all you want. The opportunity is there. There's a government in office who is willing to fight for the citizens. You have a prime minister there who is asking you, give him that support. He will continue to fight. We have seen him fighting. We have seen what he plans for the young people. We have seen him, the manifesto today was launched so people get a copy, see what the PNM manifesto looks like. We have seen the things he wants to introduce. It's forward thinking, it's exciting the young people on board with it because at different vibes at different time. All they want, the code is yellow. And we go IMF.
I recognize that our young people across Trinidad and Tobago are looking for direction. They're looking for leadership. They're looking for a sense of purpose. They're looking for people to believe in them. And young people of Trinidad and Tobago are young citizens. I stand here tonight and give you my commitment that I will work with tireless energy and I will fight who I need to fight with to ensure that our young people of Trinidad and Tobago have a future ahead of them, and only a PNM will do that. I recognize that our young people,
that is who we have standing in the trenches to fight for us with the 40 other of his colleagues who could fight, could stand up, could walk, could talk, could reach the constituents, could give them a word of advice, give them a hope, give them encouragement. We have in Arima, Lohokata, Maloney, Mausika, Tanapuna, San Juan, Bataria, St. Joseph, Diego Martin, East, West, Central, Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, St. Anne's East, Port of Spain South, Morvan, Laventel, I think it's either West or East, Tobago, East and West, You have Shogunas, South, North, Princess Town, Maruga, Tabakit. What I forget, all forgive me. I ain't look at the map. I just call it from it. Miaro, Sandy Grande, Comito, Manzalena. Young, excited, willing to do the work. When you look at the yellow side, who want to tell me that is the code? All fallen down, drunk, sickly looking, with a whole group of fanatics and sycophants and loyalists and yes man. Dashboard, we call them dashboard puppy. The one the thing you just have on the car when they drive it going so. That is what it have on the UNC side. Nobody to say what you're doing is wrong. And when the people come out and say, Kamla, what you're doing is wrong. They run them. They run Larry Lala SC, Rai Ragbir, Dr. Ragbir, Rushton Pare, Rambali, Anita, Victor Roberts, the executive in Toko, Labre, and I forget to call Labre too. That's our next district, the Labre, Brandon Mitchell up there. Yeah? Tego Martin, executive UNC, all of them gone. Why? You all hear Cathy, what's she name? Schofield talk, but the 3 hours she talked about the racism in the UNC. She said when they get the work, them getting $3,000, the Indian girl getting $2,000. She said no, can't get more money than she. They get share in the next year, a chair to sit down by the security, they can go in the office. That is the treatment they get. My thing is why you stay so long, but that is the next story. All of them telling me, people are Indian descent telling me they're racist. People are African descent saying they're racist. But young African people telling me yellow is the code. Eh? When we had a UNC, had 29 seats, had everybody could have changed any law to make this country so beautiful. With oil prices so high. And what they do, they thief. All the small parties drop and they say she corrupt. What happened? People become instant millionaires. You hear people say so, not me say so, Roger say so. And when you look on the red side, the red team, you're seeing who willing to fight. Fight for the young people, because the future is the young people. Just as Dr. Williams said when we were children, and he told our parents, the future of the children is in the book bags and free universal education for all. It's just so in these times, Prime Minister Seo Chung telling us the future of the children is not only in school bag, it's here too. And a change in the education system to make it more relevant to these times. Programs in place to be used as diversification of the economy through culture, through music, through the arts. We hear the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Finance, Dan, what is his name? Vishal, can't remember his name, but forgive me, right? UPS. Talk about carnival. And we are making, a paraphrasing, we're making money, we shouldn't. All them things the Prime Minister talk about, we Kamla telling me about all the time. Kamla ain't telling me nothing. Kamla on the stage are not saying nothing. Pie in the sky. It's not, what she's saying is just like the work where Kevin Ramnarang did for Guyana. It's useless. Once that are writing, and they can't implement it because it ain't attached to nothing. They will come not talking, it attached to nothing. So I just say, when I get in, I will build 500 houses a week. With the land, with the contract for that. Because right now, on the waterfront in San Fernando, 300 houses going to go up. And we'll finish, I think 300 houses, contract on thing, everything. You'll finish in 18 months. But you want to build 500 houses in a week. But they say when they come in, you're going to find a way to stop that contract. So what the hell are you talking about? So you're giving here and you take back here. You want to build 500 houses in a week to give out to citizens. But you say if you get in, The 300 houses we're going to build on the San Fernando waterfront, we're going to finish in 18 months. You say you're going to stop that contract. Can't number services, we feel everybody's ass sour. My language is strong, but I'm not going to use obscene. Monday, one drop out because it's in my mind to cost. Yeah, so, but I'll contain myself. You really feel we's ass sour. Contrary to what you say, because you get a PNM medication too. So if you say the only people don't see the PNM train who get PNM medication, then you don't see too, because PNM medication you get. If it wasn't for Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, you'd have still be in the fields. You might not get education, you might have about 20 children, and all you know is cutting cane. So the same PNM owners want to cost people like Kamala and them in them age group of East Indian descent. They had to thank the Honorable Dr. Eric Eustace Williams from taking them out the rice field. I am not looking down at farmers' jobs because farmers are very important. I don't stick with them. People just pick up garbage to me, engineering, sanitation engineering. I don't look down on them because if they ain't clean the place, we ain't able because we ain't doing it. So I don't look down on them thing, but I'm speaking in context. Where Kamala and them is and always cussing the PNM. Everything they have is a PNM government give them. But all they want to train up young people to talk about the code is here. Again, I'm saying young people. The code is the IMF. That yellow code Kamala telling all to tell people is the IMF. And all too young to understand how the IMF was in this country when it was under now. Go and read on it. Ask your grandmother, if your grandmother alive. Ask your great uncle, ask somebody how we catch we aunt, uncle, and nenen when NRA was in office. And when they want to talk about racism, ask people who leave the UNC about racism. Go ask Julia Davy. Call this catty woman and ask she. Talk to Lala. Call Enshan. Call all of them. Call Senator Obika and ask about racism in the UNC against African people. Even ask Jolene John, because like she in denial. I don't know if she feels she's the it girl and she's so loved. Anyway, people like to live in delusion. People like to live in a state of cognitive dissonance. They like to live in a state of denial. So wherever it is she can't get in she life, she must feel she getting in there. That is my opinion. Because I don't know if Jolene John feel Kamala and them really love she. Look what they do Jack Warner. He was a guru, the papi, the all kind of thing, the all kind of thing on his neck and all kind of thing. And what they doing? They sign the warrant for his ass, the extradition, in a beat, hard beat. He been fighting that ever since. And he's back under them again. Like when they give he to rob, he eat. People. Vishla, yes, I said Vishla Dan Paul, Mr. Vishla Dan Paul. Thank you so much, Charles. Again, I'm saying, no, according to what Rafik Shah said, a man who is very, very fair in his writing. He don't give a shit. He write what he wants to write. Criticize what he wants to criticize. Don't vote for the UNC. Know who you're staining your finger for. One party not to vote for is the UNC. And they can't vote for OJTs. I just show you how one of the OJT was behaving. He don't even have, he ain't reached nowhere yet, and here he behavior. And he give him misinformation, that is the PNM. Under the PNM, it had a coup, and the PNM take with the IMF. He even overs. Is the UNC having recession. And it's this government fight to get out, and then they get hit with COVID-19. So when you want to talk about the state and the economy and how PNM have it, he has to take into consideration a recession and COVID-19. And if he has that understanding, he will think about things differently. But he hot and he hyper. So I shudder to think with the rest of Ms. Michaela Pandey team, what they really know. So you can't vote for novice. They matter stay and learn. So then what it have? What it have? And what it have? Tobago people, what it have? Or they go and vote for Fali Shavda say, what you do for Tobago the time he was there? I hear across all this suffering, but all they don't talk about. What does Fali really do for Tobago people? Who are they going to vote for? Duke? Duke started this whole thing. It's Duke started this whole, and Duke before the court on rape. He on trial for rape. Like I something with them union man and them. Because a report was done to show 1 out of 3 women in the unions have experienced abuse. So like it's something with them. He could swing so anytime. That true. So what do you want to vote for? Vote for a team of young people who they are doing the work, understand the work, have the ability to work. You could send them away any day to stand up and speak on behalf of Tobago or Trinidad and Tobago and don't feel shame. Or they send out Tasha, the little one who got we unwashed and all that. What she could do? Blasted him. Go on Grenada to get help for carnival. And how that play out? Before they go put that little hymns that jellyfish. Me say he's a jellyfish, them say so. Folly to go way. All about he go and get award and what happened to the tourism? What happened? And all the others and them beans and this one and that. What them do for Tobago? More than fly here, fly down. What is short at the big head one? What you do? I make no political thing I say, no, me not a politician. I can say what the ass I want. And all who want to chop up my life and put it so and say, so whatever I want to tell all you again. Or whoever I offended. Whatever I say now, I could say tomorrow, I could say the next day, because me a lying and nobody. You could call me ugly, you could call me old, you could call whatever. It don't bother me. Don't call me collect. I love myself, I know me. So them talk, don't bother me. I cool with being an old woman. I cool with being a police. I cool with that. That don't bother me. Because who I have is them have to be concerned how they look at me. And I'm a queen. I'm a queen to my children, a queen to my husband. I good with that. So them thing don't bother me. So I want to tell all you again, no all the stain and all the finger follow me see all the way. I say all that to say because I know that's what others do. They just want to attack you last time they had the thing and saying when they see me coming, they must spit on thing and shoot. That's the most they can do. That can be sustained because they know I come in truth, I come in honesty. May I come to just degrade people and whatever. I bring in the truth. I ask my God every day, let me talk the truth. Because I don't want to lie to nobody. If I make a mistake, somebody tell me I correct it. If I tell somebody something like, I don't have a problem apologizing. That's how I do. So let me continue here. Estella, Shirley, Philo, Lee, Rudolph, Trevor, Tessa, Terrence, Curtin, Kathleen, Natasha, Francis, Yasir, Angela, Anne-Marie, Linda, Peanuts, Ezra, Herbert, Maria, Macano, Sherlan Hall, Lorna, Ortega Manette, Charles, June, Maslin, Miguel Fountain Tobago, Hazel, Rosie, Delano, Joycelyn, Hadara, Anastasia. I miss Jackie long time in Kentucky, girl. I wonder if it's still anything for me. Maureen, Charles, my family from Puna, Emmeline, Lystra, Robert. I want to thank you all for listening, truly locked in. And again, as I say, know who you're staying all the finger for. And all the young people are going back to the influencers again because that's the word all they have, social influencers. If all they want to stand in defense of the UNC, have the history of the UNC. Have the history of the politics as it is now. Know what they're talking about so all they will be able to encourage people to make the right decision. Don't just jump on hot and hurry and cuss African people, cuss who is PNM people, cuss old people, cuss this one, cuss that one, and feel that will make people believe all in. And only this and be suffering. All they are suffering. All they're not suffering. Don't call suffering and all this stuff. Things may be a little hard, but all they're not suffering. Because all them social media, morning and night looking hot as ever. The weave, the this, the that, and hot girls. All they're looking good way. All they're not suffering. So stop trying to fool people for whatever pieces all they get. All they get it, that is all they are fair. But at the end of the day, if you come in to support the UNC, come with facts, come with information. Don't just get on no script and just jump out and talking. Don't stop doing that. Stop selling all the self short. Because these people went in the corner after they give all of the money, whatever, and laugh at all them and call all of the N-word and not asking all them. So don't feel all them more special than we. All they more special Negroes than we. They think are we all the same. Them in the UNC there, I ain't talking about all Indians. Them in the UNC, they think all are we so. And the dark Indians and them, they think them just all the thing about we. And you see the ones and them who little lighter and across in PNM, they just cost them stink. So don't feel they're winning. Wrong them because they give all this something to eat and something to drink and they smile. Don't take that smile. When they go in the little quarters, they calling you N-word, duncy, monkey, ugly, all kind of thing. Let them tell me I lying. Don't get caught up. You want to support UNC? Get the information on UNC. Get the information on PNM. Know the history. So when you talk, you sound as you know what you're talking about. You don't sound uneducated. And people have to be saying all kinds of things about it. Because I'm confident after the election, half all their followers, all they just have, will drop off. Or they will lose followers for that. Stay in all the corner, do all the thing like all the self, whatever. Don't get into politics if all you know not more politics. It don't make no sense because the police in Tobago say, when the politics done, all we have to still live here and build this country, you know. And all they getting tied up in this politics thing, you know. Stay in all their lane, do all the thing like all the self, big up all the self. They don't jump in this politics thing. And then you end up now, UNC and then throw this. So they have time at all, you know. Get tired. All there is a means to end. Use all there because they want all there now. When they want all there, so no other word, no other word for me, please. That's all I'm saying. My African children, because some of them could be my children, know all the worth. And you can support whoever you want to support, but educate yourself on what you're coming to talk about. So people, I want to tell you all again, have a blessed night. See you all on Friday, because when I come with something fresh, something new. This is the girl Jen, sister Jenny, auntie Jenny. If you want to get formal as Miss Jennifer Frederick, another edition of W Talk D Ting. And when there are some meetings happening, I think in Lavender or wherever, so you could probably go through and listen to that, whatever. Go support your member of parliament. Go support the candidate who is going back up again for this election. Go out and support, go to the meetings, give that support, instruct your children. Yes, we instruct them because in the Cambridge Analytica, they say that Indian people don't have to tell the children what to do. But African children, they don't listen to their parents. So let me show that they're wrong because plenty of African children listen to their parents. I used to listen to mine, my trainers listen to me, and 1,000 others African trainers listen to their parents. But that was Cambridge Analytica. We've seen it playing out now in 4G, where this code is yellow is code, that code is yellow, whatever. Right? Talk to all the children. Let them understand the seriousness, the 18-year-old who don't understand what is the IMF, who don't understand what is sufferation, who don't understand that this country at one time didn't have this, didn't have that. They born into it and feel this is what it is. Let them understand how we reach where we reach, and it's the People's National Movement will have them enjoying free education, free this, free that, not the UNC. Teach them that, let them know, and don't take things for granted. The 30-year-old, or they don't understand how scene was playing out. Don't just throw away with 50 just so because all you had to carry it all, you know. And we gonna be all in the mess with all, you know. So make the right choice now. Make the right choice. Yeah? No way of staining a finger for and come out and vote resoundingly. Or they wanted somebody young, or they get somebody young. I love you all. See you all on Friday, Godspeed. Bye.
In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. This also goes for every Trinbagonian who going to live in a foreign land. Now is the time to come home and do something, instead of staying out day and freezing. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together.